When Sehu left on Thursday, she was called by her boyfriend that they should go and buy her unborn child the clothes. And that was the last time the family saw her alive. And when she didn't answer her phones, when she didn't return the WhatsApp messages, that's when the family started being concerned.
It was a love affair that would ultimately end in tragedy. Mr. Shoba, a married man, who was working as an analyst in the IT division at the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, had been having a secret affair with a 28-year-old woman named Pule Tshegofatso. But when Pule became pregnant with Shoba's child, he knew he had to do something to keep his wife from finding out. So he did the unthinkable. He hired a hitman for 70,000 rands to kill Pule. What's even more shocking is how he did it. Shoba ordered a fake Uber ride, and the driver turned out to be the hitman he had paid to carry out the murder. This is the tragic story of Shoba and Pule Tshegofatso, a cautionary tale about the consequences of infidelity and the dark lengths some will go to protect their secrets. Welcome back to our channel. For those just joining us, please consider subscribing to be notified of future true crime stories. Today's story takes us to Johannesburg, in South Africa, where a shocking crime occurred that captured the attention of the nation. Ntuthuko Shoba, the main suspect in this crime, was born in South Africa in 1989 and worked as an IT analyst in the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. He was a popular, successful and well-known professional, but also led a double life as a married man with a secret lover. Pule, the victim of the crime, was born in South Africa in 1992 and worked as a makeup artist. She was smart, ambitious, and beautiful, and found herself drawn to Shoba. Their affair continued for several months, but when Pule became pregnant with Shoba's child, he became desperate to keep his affair a secret from his wife. He knew that confessing to his wife about the infidelity and out-of-wedlock child would likely destroy his marriage and reputation. Desperate to maintain his facade of a happy family man, Shoba urged Pule to have an abortion, but she refused and insisted on keeping the baby. Rather than confront the truth and face the consequences of his actions, Shoba made the chilling decision to hire a hitman to kill Pule and eliminate any potential threat to his marriage and public image. Shoba's actions in the murder of Pule become even more disturbing when we consider the timing of the crime. Pule was already 8 months pregnant when he ordered the successful hit on her, indicating that he was determined to eliminate any trace of his infidelity and protect his image. He had already made previous attempts on her life before finally succeeding that day, as he never wanted to have the child and was willing to go to any length to make sure it didn't happen. In May 2020, Shoba had set up a fake job interview for Pule at a McDonald's restaurant. He arranged for a ride to pick her up from her house and take her to the interview. However, Pule missed the ride, and little did she know that she was supposed to die that day.
The reason why the interview bekhona is bekumele after interview mina ngizopick up uMiss Pule. Bekumele ngipick up uMiss Pule ngimyise to endlini kaShoba. Yilo lelanga lelo bekumele uMiss Pule kube ngalushonile.
On the day Pule was murdered, June 4, 2020, Shoba had invited her over to his house so that they could go and buy new clothes for their unborn baby.
When Sehu left on Thursday, she was called by her boyfriend that they should go and buy her unborn child the clothes. And that was the last time the family saw her alive.
As you can see on the CCTV camera footage, Pule arrived at his house and entered through the main gate. But what happened next was far from a peaceful visit. While inside, they had a serious argument, and Pule expressed her desire to leave. She even called her family members to inform them of the fight and that she was taking a taxi back home. Shoba offered to order an Uber ride for her to leave, which Pule innocently agreed to. What Pule did not know was that the driver was actually a hitman by the name Musike's Malefane, and that Shoba had hired him to kill her. The fake Uber ride was captured on CCTV footage approaching Pule and Shoba outside his house. As you can see, Pule hesitated before entering the car, as she noticed alcohol on the driver's breath. But she eventually entered the car, hoping it was a real Uber and that if anything happened, it could be traced back to the driver using the app. As soon as Pule got into the car, the hitman drove off with her, and that was the last time she was seen alive. Shoba, on the other hand, walked back into his house, knowing fully well that Pule and his unborn child were going to be killed just minutes later. Few days later, heavily pregnant Pule was found hanging on a tree with a gunshot wound to the chest.
Then she was just hanging here. So I think whoever that did that failed to lift her up, to take her up, because we found her hanging. Her waist was up though.
After the discovery of Pule's body, the police launched an investigation into her death. Luckily, her final moments were captured on CCTV footage, revealing the fake Uber driver as the last person to see her alive. The police initiated a manhunt for the car used by the hitman, and it wasn't long before they traced it to the hitman's girlfriend. With this breakthrough, the hitman was arrested. When questioned, the hitman revealed that Shoba had hired him to kill Pule because he didn't want anything to do with the pregnancy and feared his wife finding out.
The chilling details of the plot to kill Tshegofatso Pule saw the public gallery in the Johannesburg High Court dead silent. Convicted murderer Muzikayise Malefane said had his chance to detail his version, saying that he got involved because of greed. Newsroom Africa's Linda Misi was in court for us and filed this report.
Umthokozisi, ubongane, noBhiko. Bekunabantu bebafaka isilimo endlini. Ngaphuma ngaya kuShoba. Bambonile abangani bami. Bayibonile imoto because beyipake ngaku drive through. Shoba wangitshela ukuthi uMiss Pule uzongivakashela today. Okay, Mr. Shoba wangitshela ukuthi today ilanga uMiss Pule kumele ashone ngalo namhlanje. Mr. Shoba wathi uMiss Pule kumele somhenga ema-Riceburg.
He admitted to not having the courage to hang a pregnant woman and opted to shoot her once in the chest before hanging her lifeless body on a tree. The hitman also disclosed that he was responsible for the failed attempt to kill Pule in May during the fake job interview. Fortunately, Pule had missed the ride and her life was spared that day. As part of a plea bargain for a reduced sentence, the hitman cooperated with the authorities and provided them with valuable information. With this revelation, Shoba was arrested and charged with murder, and justice was served for Pule and her unborn child. Shoba was eventually convicted of murder and sentenced to life in prison.
Mr. Shoba, can you stand up, please? For all these reasons, Mr. Shoba, I am enjoined by the statute to apply the ordinary sentence for an offence of this nature. You will spend the rest of your natural life in prison, unless the parole authorities consider you fit for release in the fullness of time. Accordingly, on count 1 of the indictment, I sentence you to life imprisonment. You may sit down. Thank you.
Shoba's actions not only cost Pule her life but also cost him his marriage. He was not willing to take responsibility for his actions and tell his wife the truth, and as a result, he has lost her. Even if she does not file for divorce, he would still have to spend the rest of his life in prison, while his wife will continue to live her life on the outside without him. Pule's family and the entire nation of South Africa were left to mourn her tragic loss. The murder shook the country, and many groups came together to support Pule's family throughout the court proceedings until justice was finally served. It's with a heavy heart that we extend our sympathies to Pule and her loved ones. Losing a loved one is never easy, let alone in such a tragic manner. Pule has since been laid to rest, while Shoba will be spending the rest of his lifetime behind bars for his crime. The murder of Pule is a stark reminder of the dangers of infidelity and the lengths that some people will go to in order to hide their secrets. Unknown to us, Shoba might have already made so many attempts to kill her, and even if the hitman had backed out or failed that day, it would have only been a matter of time before he succeeded. It is a tragic cautionary tale that reminds us that actions have consequences and that we must be mindful of the impact our choices have on others. That's our story for today, and we hope you enjoyed it. Please, if you haven't, like this video and subscribe to our channel so that you can know when a new story drops on our channel. Bye bye and see you in the next one.